walking off the street and talked to our pastor. I was broken. I was devastated. God told me to come seek you. He told me that you were going to baptize me in Israel in the Caesarea Sea. The Sea of Caesarea, like this is what I'm saying. I don't even know like everything that's inside of me is coming inside of me by the Spirit of God. I couldn't even pass an English class and going all throughout school. I was the most laughed at, talked about kid in all the schools that I was at. I was 460 pounds at graduation. Eventually I was 504 pounds. I was addicted to crack cocaine at 18. I was married 3 times by the time I was 23. I had cancer at 24. My daughter was born at 18. I was already on drugs. I turned 38 years old on day 100 of the faith journey and the spiritual transformation from heaven. On my 38th birthday, it was a day like never before because I had fresh vision, insight, power from above. And I hold the extinguisher to the world. The world is on fire. This race war, this battle. Why would God send me to a place where I was once at when I was 16 years old? My stepdad was assigned to become a pastor in Gainesville, Georgia when I was 16 years old. And at that time, the Grand Master of the KKK was living in Gainesville. And he had all these black mannequins hanging from trees. And one day we drove past and I rolled down the window and I screamed, "We hate you!" And my mom went crazy. And there was a bunch of skinheads on the porch and they had guns and they were screaming and, throwing signs at us. And my mom couldn't stand it, but I didn't understand at that point. I began to have a hatred in my heart towards white people. And it took so many years, even though that I was blending in and I was doing things with white people. That's what white people do with us. Blend in and do things for the, it's the lesser evil. To just blend, but still have hatred in your heart. God had to heal me. Then he had to bring me back to a place. But as I was pulling up to Free Chapel, he began to show me that there were so many layers of racism that were 6 generations deep beneath the foundations of that church. A lot of the elements and the issues that they're dealing with have nothing to do with them, but it has everything to do with their lineage and a racial bloodline that is killing them and it's killing their hearts and it's killing us. I can't make this stuff up. I still want to get on a lie detector test because I just feel so, I've been so rejected. I've written President Obama, I've written so many people, like, please, the Lord keeps showing me that I'm supposed to be meeting with Donald Trump and this was long before any of this. On March 11th, okay, hold on. Let me see here. I'm running out of time on my video here. Thank you. I was on at Free Chapel on March 8th at 8:50 in the morning. The Lord said, healing and deliverance service. Cancer, meth, pills, food, suicidal ideations and attempts, generational curses, historical racial bloodlines that have cursed and caused present ailments. You feel horrible, but every time you go to the doctor, every test comes back normal because you are normal. The pain and the ailments that you are facing are tied to the forefathers as deep as 6 generations of strife, pain, racial affliction, and addictions that have tangled the bloodlines of your lineage leading into 2020. If we don't break the cycle now, our children's future will be bound by the same never-ending cycle of shame, guilt, fear, and unresolved anger and pain of the past. This was on 3/8. Come on, you guys. Please understand. The Lord has me here for a reason. I tried to kill myself. I tried to kill myself 3 years ago. I was in a mental hospital. And when I was in that mental hospital, the Lord told me at that point that everything was going to change. On March 11th, the Lord says mass pandemic will set in the U.S. and across the world because of this virus. Schools, institutions will begin closing to protect people. This will trigger the exact opposite effect. Our national food shortage will also begin to aid in the pandemonium that will ensue. Major supermarket shelves will become bare, and whatever remaining supplies on the shelves will be looted. States will begin to implement martial law to no avail. This will certainly feel like the worst of times, but this will only be a snippet into the tragedy of this impending virus. The hearts and souls that will fall away during this mass hysteria will only anger God, and He will begin to inflict His judgment on this fallen world who believes they have all the time in the world, but will be quickly mistaken, and before they know it, every accolade, applause, accomplishment, degree, or tinkling brass sermon will not stand in the presence of God. He cares for pure hearts. That was at 1:35, and then 20 minutes later he says, it's not your fault. From the moment you were born in the fallen world, you have been influenced by someone operating with a hardened heart. And over time, whether it's your parents, grandparents, or friends, hard hearts and their practices rub off on one another, and you become easily influenced by your surroundings, affecting your life. If you are not saved from yourself and the tricks of the dark side, God can't get clear messages to your hearts. And that hardened heart, to hearts that are hard, because your heart affects your brain. So if God places a revelation on your heart, the hardened state will twist the revelation, and something that was meant to produce positive results in the earth can ultimately kill you because your signals of reception were off and you weren't able to access the full picture that God planned because of heart issues. The key to transformation is a new heart. This is the season that we're in. We're in a season of new hearts, a season of purging, of newness, of new bonds, of new victories. Racism has got to die. The ones with the heavy knees will be exposed in this season. You can't hide. You can no longer blend. Your actions will expose you. Your words will expose you. Your voice will expose you. Mr. President, you can look at my YouTube. I sent a video to you on March 12th when you addressed the nation. You told the nation that we're the strongest nation and nothing will come against us. Sir, everything has come against you. How dare you stand in front of a church when people are broken, dying and hurting, hold up a Bible upside down for a picture that you had to maul over people in order to get, to show force. Sir, there's only one with power, and that power is from above. I have words for you that could only be spoken in private because they come from God Himself. He loves you, Mr. President, just like He loves all of us. And He also loves equality. He also loves peace. And He also loves love. So as the world is asking this question, where is the answer? Where's the hope? Where's the voice? I couldn't make this up if I wanted to. I tried to run from it. I couldn't run. Tried to pop pills to make it go away. Tried to kill myself several times. God keeps His promises. If God has given you a promise, that promise is going to come to pass. The Lord told me to come to Georgia, to go to Free Chapel. I stayed for 3 weeks until March 15th. The next day, on the 24th, you'll see me walking around the outside of the church. March 15th, the Lord says, I want you to go to Fayetteville to Real Talk Kim's church. I received the words there that God had called me prophet, carrier of revival, and that he had called me prophet, Elisha Kadosh. So that's my mantle. That's who I am. I don't even know who I am. That's what I need you to know. I feel nothing but the Spirit of the Lord. The power of God is flowing inside of me so deep. And I'm here for all people, but more specifically, I'm still a black man in this world with tattoos, with dreadlocks, a history, who's been judged, who's been locked up, who's been on drugs. They sat there and said, kids, don't do drugs because look at George Floyd on the floor and this was why we're killing him. No, I don't care how many drugs you do. You never deserve to die at the hands of someone with a black heart. Open your eyes. God has sent me here to prepare the way. Jesus is coming. The return is coming. Do not turn so far in the wrong direction that you can't find your way back. He's calling you. He's speaking to you. He sees your spirit. He knows your heart. He wants to purify your heart. He wants to give you a right spirit. He wants to break the chains of oppression that have carried us and bound us for so long. This is the time, you guys. My entire story, the journey, you can find it on IamDeckSpeaks.com. But more importantly, Jentezen Franklin, I need to see you. We need to talk. We need to figure out how we could come together. I have so much more to share with you that God has given me to share with you, how we're supposed to bridge this gap for global revival and for race relations. We're supposed to do this together. So I'm here in Georgia.